Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I think the Ukrainian counteroffensive was unsuccessful from the very beginning, and I think it's already dead, face to down, floating downstream, and in a advanced state of decomposition. Obviously, the Ukrainian press and its leaders, the guys in charge of it, which are the Ukrainian politicians, are the guys who actually are in charge of the Ukrainian nation, come and tell us every day that the counteroffensive is actually having some success. Well, I don't believe that for various reasons. I look at the map and I don't see where these guys are advancing. According to them, they tell us 1 kilometer here, 300 feet over there, 500 yards over there, but they never provide the area and the map to see where that happens. It's no tangible change of due to the counteroffensive. That's one thing. The other one, a counteroffensive doesn't really last 2 decades, especially here. So a counteroffensive should be something swift, break the front, and you advance. It's true that sometimes it can take longer than, 3 days, 5 days, a week, but we are, I think, in about 2 months of Ukraine counteroffensive that still does not produce anything tangible. If you remember, the Russians claimed they had a counteroffensive, I think, in the beginning of this year. It was the same nothing. And last year they said they have another offensive. And how were they treated by the Western media? With obvious scorn, which tells us that the guys are not idiots, because that was not a counteroffensive. Whatever the Russians did was not a successful counteroffensive. Neither is this one. So I have here 2 articles, one coming from CNN and the other one coming from a Ukrainian media outlet. I think it's Ukrainska Pravda. And I will show you how the Westerners are looking at the issue. And it's not the Ukrainians saying, yes, we're winning, but you can't see anything. So let's start with CNN. CNN, this article comes from August 8, 2023. Western allies receive increasingly, quote-unquote, sobering updates on Ukraine's counteroffensive. This is the most difficult time of the war. End quote. It is difficult in my assessment because this was the highly anticipated, successful, hoped successful offensive conducted by the Ukrainians, and it is like the last jerk of a fish that you cut its head off. The last spasm. So I'm gonna keep reading from CNN to give you a little bit of a taste what these guys are saying. Weeks into Ukraine's highly anticipated counteroffensive, Western officials describe increasingly, quote-unquote, sobering assessment about Ukraine's forces' ability to retake significant territory for senior US and Western officials briefed on the latest intelligence, told CNN. So these guys are supposedly they're briefed by their intelligence, and they tell us, really we should drop the ideology and the wishful thinking here. And I'm quoting, they are still going to see for the next couple of weeks if there is a chance of making some progress. But for them to really make progress that would change the balance of the conflict, I think it's extremely, highly unlikely. A senior Western diplomat told CNN, our briefings are sobering, and I'm quoting, we're reminded of the challenges they face, said Representative Mike Quigley, an Illinois Democrat who recently returned from meetings in Europe with U.S. commanders training Ukrainian armored forces. And I'm quoting, this is the most difficult time of the war. So it is difficult because you invest so much and you don't get back anything. So it's like, I don't know, you invest in a stock market and you don't get no revenue, no nothing, no returns. Not good. And you say, how long should I wait? Well, in the stock market, it's a different story, but here they expect it to be a big breakthrough. And I'm going to read one more thing here. The primary challenge for Ukrainian forces is the continued difficulty of breaking through Russia's multi-layered defensive lines in the eastern and southern parts of the country, which are marked by tens of thousands of mines and vast networks of trenches. Ukrainian forces have incurred staggering losses there, leading Ukrainian commanders to hold back some units to regroup and reduce casualties. So CNN reports that nothing happened. They are unsuccessful. 2 months. And that's going to get me to the second article coming from the Ukrainians, where you're going to see how a weasel uses weasel words that really make no sense in reality. But they still are ideologues, and when you are an ideologue and you are wishful thinking here, you include it in all your assessments, or I don't even want to say their assessments, you got the wrong results. It's like you bake a cake, but you forget to put sugar in it. And you say, hey, here's the cake, but it tastes like shit. Why? You forgot that ingredient. Well, we don't like sugar. Well, you don't like sugar, this is not a cake. This is something else. Sugar less, taste less, something. Sweet less. So let's go and see the other article. Coming from Ukrinform, not from New Voice of Ukraine, or they're the same ones actually. And this is from, again, the 8th of August 2023. Carpenter, there is potential for successful Ukrainian counteroffensive. There is, like, you say, well, you know what, I invest in this land because that's potential diamonds in there. Well, do you have them? No. It's so much that you need to do. First, you have to make sure that it's possible to be there, but the second, you have to mine them out. So if you don't have the technology, let's say you're in, 10th century, or not even 10th century, because I shouldn't give that example, because they had the technology to dig gold anyway, but you don't have the technology to dig it, but potentially that would give you some money. You're going to get the diamonds out. Well, it's a lot of work, and if you don't have the technology, you will be unsuccessful. Like, for instance, you have an athlete, a person who has the physical potential to be a world champion in whatever, but it's a long way. It means nothing. Like a piece of wood, that's potential to be a fantastic piece of art and a beautiful carving. You gotta get the artist, you gotta get the imagination, you gotta get the work. It's the potential. It means zero. So it's nothing. So that's not all about this statement for Carpenter, and I will give you the first paragraph, the first sentence. That is an idiotic sentence, and this is what this guy says, right? Or at least Ukrinform reports. It is currently difficult to assess a Ukrainian counteroffensive, which is still in its initial phase. But there is potential for Ukraine to achieve success, and Ukrainian forces have the advantage of determination and morale on their side. Now, this is an ideologue. This is a guy who doesn't tell the truth. First, how in the hell Ukrainian counteroffensive is still in its initial phase? It's 2 months, baby doll. 2 months. That's not initial phase. I think that's already dead, as I said at the beginning of this video. But he's still in the initial phase. No, it's not. It's 2 months. You don't have and if you don't see anything in 2 months, where's the counteroffensive? It's not over, I can tell you that, but with days and days, it's not a counteroffensive anymore. But there is potential, as I say, wishful thinking, for Ukraine to achieve success. And he tells us why. Why? The Ukrainian forces have an advantage of determination. It's a characteristic right there of character. And then you have a morale on their side. But the Russians don't have determination, and they don't have morale on their side. I don't know, but he says so. So who's this guy? This is a U.S. permanent representative of the OSCE, Michael Carpenter, said in an interview with Ukrinform. So, I don't know, my friends, but These are ideologues that talk nicely, and that's why, the job sometimes doesn't get done, because you have people that think that they're going to sit down and say, hey, there's the potential for that. We're the best, we're good. Why? Because we say so. It's unbelievable, but hey, these are our important officials. This is an important person over there. He thinks that way. He tells us that the Ukrainian counteroffensive, it's in initial stage. 2 months. Can you tell me how the initial stage would be? Or there's like stages, first one, and then it's going to be, they plan it for what, for 50 years? And this is just the initial, for the first 10 years is going to be the initial stage. And then the next, 20 years is going to be the main stage, and then the cleaning stage is going to be the rest. That's the first one. The other one, he tells us about the potential. The potential is like you are a very smart person, but you stay in your basement and sleep all day, or you don't do anything. What does that mean? You have the potential, but it means it doesn't turn into anything. Anything. And the third one, he gives us a trait of character that he assumes the Ukrainians have somehow, but the other ones don't have it somehow. Why? Based on what kind of research, Mr. Carpenter? So it's 3 idiotic things in one paragraph, or long sentence in this case. Ukraine's counteroffensive failed 100%, and right now they just, how should I put it, give it a, and I'll try to change the taste of this, because it's a bitter taste. And I don't know how they will make it, but they will just do it as they did it with Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2 pipelines sabotage. They let it just go away. And hopefully nobody will say, hey, where's the counteroffensive? What's going on? Psh, we have other things, more important things to talk about here. The same here. How about the Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2? Oh, what? It's still under investigation. You should just interrupt us for important things that we're talking here. So when are we going to meet the ladies of the night? Oh, it'll be champagne? All right, make sure. That's the important thing. But hey. So, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.